Hello, everyone, and welcome to Friendly Fire's exploration of Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We are doing chapters 5 and 6 this time. I am joined again by Ryan,
Hello, everybody.
Chris,
Hello.
and Tyler.
Hello.
We do not have Brian because he's a weak-ass gamer boy and couldn't finish.
Yeah, remember in the first episode when he called us a bunch of fake-ass Star Wars fans? Somehow couldn't find the time to beat this game.
He's a busy man. I like how when Brian's not on, you found the energy to do like a normal ass podcast intro, Tom, instead of the between two ferns at it we did the last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Oh well, shit happens. I'm sure it'll go off the rails at some point.
There are rails here?
Yeah, I mean, somewhere. Doesn't mean we have to ride on them.
Yeah, it's like a bowling alley. You put the guardrails up, and then you just chuck the ball down the lane anyways, and it goes in the lane opposite.
Oh, bumper bowling? We don't
Yeah.
do the bumper bowling. Like the little children's bumper bowling.
Yes.
Just whip the ball like 10 feet in the air.
You do
That's
that,
right.
Tyler?
Say what?
Yes. Look at him.
No,
You do
I was saying
bumper
it's
bowling?
like that, where you put the guardrails out, but then it goes off the rails anyways.
It was funny because when I was a kid, they weren't guardrails. They were like actual inflatable things that went into the gutter. Now they just have the metal ones that you just.
Yeah, but when you were a kid, they also rolled wheels down the street with a stick, so...
Not Amish. They're like
Wheeled
metal
wheels
rings
down
or
the street
something.
with a stick.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Little wooden wheel, they took a stick, like a baton.
Yeah, and would run with it. Yeah,
Yeah. Ryan knows.
I know of it.
Yeah,
Thing
Ryan
in the old
probably-
movies. Anyways, the game, since we jumped ahead last time, we have already killed Ravis and gave him his honorable death. And now we're going to search for the last compass, which
Yeah.
Dagon has in the observatory.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Where we're
Yep.
going? Yes, through the mountains, which is where BD also learns an electro bolt skill from a down lambda T4 shuttle,
Yay.
which immediately shoots it off and fucks us. And then Cal scolds him afterwards. It's like, maybe you should look into the things that I give you before immediately shooting them into a small cockpit. Gives them a spanking. And that's it. That's the game, everybody.
All right.
Cal dies in the shuttle crash, and you know
That section is cool how you go through that downship.
the boggy like it's not the swamp, but it's like moist,
Yeah.
foggy mountain
Yep.
pass.
Yeah, that area is cool. I think they call
Yeah.
it the Rift Passage. Is that area?
There's the mountain ascent, I think, is where it starts, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that section's really cool. I like that area. And then the mountain, obviously, is fucking super cool. Just that whole ascent up to the observatory is super
Yeah,
rad.
when you pass through the Imperial base, and you got to do those few wave fights, and
Yeah.
you meet the best boss in the game by the name of Rick.
Yeah.
Rick, door technician.
Question about this. Are we willing to accept that a door technician is just a futuristic locksmith? Because my
Yeah.
boss is named Rick.
Wow.
I mean,
Boss in the game.
That's
I
what I'm
don't-
saying.
do they
Did you-
really have locks? Like, essentially, wouldn't BD be a locksmith because he's basically slicing out the doors?
Well, that's just theft. You know, there's more to like. You
So-
got to install the systems that do the locking and repair them when they fail.
I'm
It's
on
the
Ryan's
door
side. I believe you. Yes.
You're just saying that so that this is cut shorter.
No, I mean, I mean, you think about it,
Fuck this conversation.
it's all semantics, really. I mean, what do you consider a locksmith's job to be, and what is Rick's job detail? That's what we
Running
need to know.
at somebody who is extremely powerful and then immediately dying in one hit.
Yeah.
Except what I did
Yeah.
is I actually picked him up and walked him over to the hole and dropped him in the hole.
That's
And he
That's
just
what I
fell.
did.
He just fell. to his
Might have been
death.
what I did.
I
I
let
just picked him up and just hit him with one swing of the lightsaber.
I let him attack me to get the parry, and then attacked him. And he had like some smart comment when I got the parry. I don't even remember because he just died before he could even finish a sentence.
Yes. Apparently, he has a very large following on subreddits. People have made movie posters and such
I
about
don't
Rick the
even
Door
remember this
Technician.
character at all.
But he's just a normal like scout trooper that just
Yeah,
runs at you with one of
Who
the
gets a
batons.
boss health bar for no good reason, just to
But
be
still
funny.
just dies. Yeah.
I don't even
It's-
remember it. It was so arbitrary. It just
I think you mean awesome. They start with the same letter.
no. I didn't care.
Wow.
I did not even remember it until you brought it up.
Brian's
Wow.
gonna call his boss right now.
Yeah,
and have
he's
you
so
get it to
upset.
his face.
Does not care about locksmith whatsoever.
I'm looking him up because I feel like he's not even a real character.
He is.
Oh, Rick the
Find the
Door
movie-
Technician's
yeah.
a real character.
Yeah, find the movie posters that people have made for him, and they're hilarious.
Yeah, I mean it's a reference to an SNL skit, right?
I
think so.
I don't know.
There's
Yeah,
a
it is.
moment before we
I feel
go up
very
and fight
weird.
Rick. One of the memories Cal can see of Dagon and Kree, where Kree cuts Dagon's arm off. Did anyone else see this?
Well, I thought that was later. But,
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
My
thought that
note,
was
I
actually in the
have that note
observatory,
written
but-
down before I did Rick the Door Technician.
Okay. I thought that was in
Before
the
you fight
observatory.
Gravis even.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw that last night because I'm replaying through the game and I have not quite fought Ravis.
That's fair. Cal's comment is, man, I don't want to end up like Dagon. And my thought was, I don't think Marin's going to cut your arm off.
Maybe something else. A little bit lower, perhaps.
Mhm.
Put it in some carbonite so it lasts forever.
Well, you got to cut it off first. but
Right, yeah.
She can use her weird dark magic to like make sure that it's still
All right.
pulsing
All right.
with green goos.
I didn't think we were gonna go into making space dildos immediately. That's what we're doing.
You weren't ready
Did you
for
think that
Tyler?
even was a possibility?
No, I didn't. But
Okay.
here we are.
How do you not
Here
have
we
that
are,
on the bingo card?
Immediately, but he was pretty sure we
Blowing
could.
Tyler's
Who was the dude from
expectations.
Saved by the Bell that did that?
What?
Dustin Diamond. He did that. He made a
Oh, he's dead.
dildo out of his own dick.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's
If
fascinating.
only he was in Star Wars, and that would have been great. Screech in Star Wars. Okay, so Rick is dead.
Mhm.
We can continue through. We get to the top of the mountain, and it's very cool. Nice, big, panoramic. You get some TIE fighters flying by, getting attacked by the droids.
Yeah, as you're flying through the air off those inflatable satellite buoys or whatever. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
things are fucking weird.
I still don't understand the purpose of those.
Like
Like,
within the world, yeah.
yeah, I was like, why do they exist in this world other than a gameplay mechanic?
They're like weather balloons? Yeah,
No, they're not. No, they're not.
They're not
Yes.
weather balloons, but
If
Rick
they're
can
weather
be a-
balloons, they are not
They-
very
Locksmith.
stable. The second that you pick up another one, the last one explodes. What
Oh, well, those are
kind of-
temporary ones, though.
Yeah,
The other
it's
ones
like,
are
what kind
always
of-
there. So the temporary ones.
Or maybe
you know.
some kind of like floating scaffolding for construction workers. Like, how did this structure get up here?
So they put floating scaffolding on there, and then somebody pulls another inflatable balloon out, and the last one explodes. And then the
You better
scaffolding
hurry up, Jerry.
I'm gonna pull this one out. You're gonna fall to your death. Damn it. But yes. So yeah, I had the Dagon part here, but then again, I just typed it up because I remembered it. I just didn't remember when it happened. Whatever.
Yeah, it's at the very tippity top
We're at the tippity top.
of.
Did you guys get lost? I've seen a couple of videos where people have gotten lost in this area and didn't know what to do. Most specifically in the rotating room that you have to run behind the magma guards or whatever and shoot the electro bolt in. People couldn't figure out that that's what they were supposed to do
for a
Then
little while.
Continuously rotate the room.
Yeah. Oh no, not there. Way earlier than that. Like one of the first little obstacles where you had to get some of the Kobo matter to burn something away.
Oh, the very first
yeah,
one.
yeah. I did not see where I had to shoot the thing in to open the door up top. I thought I had to open the door up top some other way to get it.
You have to pull the panel off to open up a little piece in the window to then,
Yeah.
you know,
I never
do all
saw
the
that
other-
panel highlighted to be like, use your force.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Not too bad though.
But yeah, this is a really cool area. Another High Republic, floating observatory. Very smooth and
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
this area is super cool.
it was a fun climb up.
I took some
enjoyed it.
pretty cool screenshots here with the photo mode.
Yeah, the zooming around with the grapple in here after you get access to the weather balloons. Kind of reminds me of the Sky Temple in Twilight Princess, which is like the best temple in that game by a million miles. So I loved it.
I had a very good time. So we make it to the top, and none other than Dagon, the one-armed Wonderkin, is up there.
Such a good
And-
fight.
Yeah, it's fight rules.
Yeah, it's a very good fight.
It's amazing.
Good phases. Uses his Jedi confusion, flips the room upside down.
That shit was
makes-
so awesome.
Makes copies of himself.
Yep.
Creates a force arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a crazy ghost purpley arm.
Yeah. Talk about a phantom limb, am I right?
Wah, wah, wah. You're a phantom pain.
Oh,
All right.
But yeah, at this point, I thought that because there's several times that Bode is quite vulnerable. I'm like, they're gonna kill Bode off here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, that's.
Or
and then
the
they
other
don't.
thought was like he's turning Bode and Bode is going to start like he's
Fighting
being
with him.
Jedi mind tricked. Yeah, and he's going to be fighting with him. by
So
the end of this
yeah,
fight or
when you
something.
actually kill him, I thought it was the confusion, and you would wake up and you actually just stab Bode, and
Yeah,
Dagon's
yeah.
just in the corner like laughing maniacally with his one arm, clapping. Good job.
One-handed clap.
Yep.
He's able to do that. I don't remember how you do it. There's like a way that you can
Yeah,
do it.
don't do that because it doesn't look like you're trying to clap, sir.
It doesn't look like I'm trying to jerk anything off either.
Well, it did before when you
did when it
lowered
was
your
on
hand
out
and it
of the camera.
disappeared.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Milk
You
and the cow.
gotta grip it like this though. Just
White knuckle. Oh, Lord.
Oh god.
See, Brian's going to be happy he's not here for this one. But yes, I thought several times that Bode would be the one that dies here and not that, oh, we just killed who we thought was the main bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, this is weird. Like, I wonder where they're going to go with this now.
Yeah, like once we were, I mean, we'll get there in a second, but back on Jeddah when things really feel like they're ending for the game, and it's
Yeah.
like I know there's still another chapter of this game left, so something bad is happening.
Yeah. Yeah, because we go back and get Cordova the compass, which is broken again, of course, because nothing is ever whole.
We had to fight for it. Come on, man.
Yeah. So we make it back there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll try and repair it." And they're like, "Let's go hang out and have a little buddy campfire and get drunk on some greased tea,"
Mm-hmm.
that's right.
which is a very funny part because he's bringing it out and he's like, "Oh, this is really heavy. Can someone come help me?" And Marin goes up. She's like, "I'll help," and then she just grabs the one cup
The
and
one
starts
cup.
drinking it. He's like, "Thanks, thanks a lot."
Love it.
Love Marin.
And then it's just like weird. There's no audio cutscenes. I'm like talking for a while till they leave, and then you have a conversation with Bode, who you see is worried about something and deflects immediately upon his daughter. At this point, okay, and suggests that maybe they just go first to Tanalore and inspect it to make sure that it's safe for everybody else. Which at this point, Bode, obviously now we know that he's probably just trying to actually get Cal out so that, obviously he can deflect from what happens. And he's like, oh, I don't know what was going on. But then he also would not have been responsible for the deaths that ensue. Or he can feel that he's not responsible for
Yeah.
the deaths.
Right.
Because he can, as we know, he can blame it all on the fact that he's a father.
Yeah.
So that's why he makes the choices.
Well, he would never have to have done that because, everybody would be dead by the time they come back from Tanalore.
Yeah.
So he was kind of trying to save them because you can see like so what they do really good in this part and the next part is Bode's body language is very very good. So as we go down and or wait, well,
I mean, we all knew
should
he was
have-
going to turn after this point, right? I mean, like,
I mean,
Seemed
I was
pretty
still I was still iffy on what was going to happen. I wasn't like, oh, campfire, yeah, Bode's a fucking bad guy now.
Yeah. I'm certainly less trusting. Like as chapter 3 turned into 4, turned into 5, like my Bode became like a character I kept a closer eye on because I did start to have some,
You only had
suspicions
because Brian said something on the first episode.
No, it was somewhere in the 3rd chapter. I have a note. I don't remember exactly what.
Right, but he said it in the second or when we did the first recording.
I would have said it. No, because I was fine with him in the first 2 chapters. I had no problems.
But Brian said that he was. So then after he said something, then it got your brain thinking. You could say no, but
for me, it was just the fact that I knew that there was more game left. In like that conversation, it was very alluding to the fact like he had mixed feelings about something, and it's like, okay, the only thing that you could have mixed feelings about is the fact that you're going to turn and betray us at this point, because the way that you're responding to everything that's being said, the way that you're reacting to the rest of the team, you're obviously holding something back. Like he was very guarded in that moment, and I just felt like it was very obvious. I didn't think it was going to turn into what it turned into as far as the reveal for who he was, but definitely knew he was going to betray them at that point.
So before we go down to find out what's happening, we have a nice little moment with Marin where they talk about the Order not being around and that Cal finally knows what he wants. Or what? Smoochy smoochy.
Heavily implied sexy times, yes.
Yes. Fade to black. Wake up in the morning all by yourself. Go downstairs. Cordova's like, I did it. We are happy ending. Roll credits. Alarms go off. Empire is here. And I like this because as soon as it happens, like you can see Bo just like starts looking up. Because right as the alarms go off and kind of just like puts his head down and walks off screen. At that point, it's like, yep, well, he fucking did something. And then obviously, seconds later, he has Cordova held at gunpoint. He says, you don't have to do this. It's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. And then shoots him twice.
Yep.
And then madness ensues. You chase Bode through the base. You get the very, very fun speeder chase.
Yeah. This part was fun, but I had definitely some weird rubber banding going on where it was like I was going so fast and I would get so close to them, they would like pull me back away, and it definitely takes you out of it for a second when that happens.
That didn't happen to me.
Well, your game just ran perfect the whole time. You just got the blinders on, just don't look at any of the technical issues that are at.
I don't remember that happening, and I did it twice because I just did it probably an hour ago. And
well, you must not be good on the speeder bike because I was riding those corners, getting right up next to him, and then it would just push me away and then bring me back. And the rubber banding hardcore.
I'm sorry that happened to you, sir.
Yeah.
Clearly my fault.
Well, no, but you're always like, yeah, mine was fine. I had no problems.
When you're leaving before the speeder bike chase, like Bode has some weird canned animations that looked not great of him like flying away. Just like they're so fast that they don't look like a character moving. They just look like, quick zip. And then also he's like supposed to be running from you, but one of the elevators was not down that was supposed to be down, so I had to like call it down and wait and then get on it and get up, and he was just waiting there for me and then ran away. Very silly.
Well, I mean, it has to have the animation there. I mean, they're not going to just put it like he's just gone, and then you'll be like, well, where the fuck do I go? Because there's just going to be wandering around the base.
Game, but it's still very silly looking.
Yeah, but they could have like had him off near the speeder bikes, like trying to get him ready to go or something. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Instead of like just standing there like this, waiting.
So instead of him waiting, you want him to have problems to start a speeder bike when there's clearly like 5 of them there, and he's just like sitting there. Oh, fuck, I don't know how to start
he has to get it ready and like got to get the door open. You could have been like getting the door open and shit, waiting for the door to open up or something. That makes more sense than just standing next to the elevator waiting for a door to open.
What doesn't make sense? I mean, if everything was running fine, then it wouldn't have been a problem. Correct?
I
Like
guess.
he's not on everybody's game. Is he just like standing there? Hey, come catch me, sir. Maybe it was for a dramatic effect. He was taunting you.
Yeah,
Go with that.
The Sith love drama.
Mhm.
They are a bunch of drama queens.
Well, he's not a Sith.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he's not really
He's
Sith.
He's just on his own path. But there's some very cool scenes as you're flying on the speeder bike, and at one point you whip one of the troopers up into a TIE fighter's
So
cockpit,
fucking good.
which is hilarious.
So good.
And there's just fighting all around, which is very cool. And then you end up tackling Bode off his, and you have to fight him. Grandmaster without BD. Well, this was interesting. I didn't know if you were supposed to die like that, because I was like, huh, I'm on Grandmaster. And I'm like, oh, maybe I just died immediately, but that's just how it goes because
Yeah, I thought my
Yeah.
game was fucking broken.
Yeah,
I
so you
did
can't
have-
heal.
I did have a glitch
Right.
here as well, where once he killed me and the respawn thing came up, nothing happened. So I had to restart.
oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
But as we land and tackle him, Cal yells at him that they did all this together to get the compass, and he's just going to give it away to the Empire. And he's like, I'm not going to give it to the Empire, because he's not planning on giving it to the Empire. He's just running away with Kata. And then he does a force push on you, and then you're just flabbergasted. WTF.
It was a Jedi the whole
And
time!
he's like,
Yeah.
you weren't the only one that survived.
I'll tell you what,
His-
did not
His
expect
blaster
that.
stance is way better than our blaster stance. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, the backhanded blaster stance. That's what Cal needs to learn for the next game.
He's got nobody to learn
yeah.
it from, though.
That's true.
he saw it enough.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see this coming, even though most saw his betrayal at least potentially happening at some point. I don't think any of us called that he was a Jedi.
No.
yeah.
Oh.
I was wondering through the entire speeder bike section, like, why doesn't Cal just like use it on him? But I guess it makes sense that it probably wouldn't have worked on him since he's a Jedi, or he could have forced back. But like, they don't want to reveal then that he's a Jedi because they have a moment coming in a second where they reveal that he's a Jedi. So they're just like, don't. He just doesn't use it. He doesn't think about it. Cal's.
I do love that moment too, where Cal's like, this is after the fact, obviously, when you're back on the ship. It's kind of jumping ahead a little bit, where he's talking to Marin and Grease, and he's like, why couldn't I sense him? I don't understand why I couldn't sense him. That moment is so fucking good.
Like, have you not seen the prequel movies where nobody knew who Palpatine was?
Yeah, you didn't ask Cal that? Like, Grease wasn't like, didn't you see the prequels?
Yeah.
You should have. That would have been.
Yeah.
So it's not like an unheard of thing, but yes.
Yeah.
The Sith are, well, he's not Sith, but yes, they are very good at hiding. Plus, he was trained, like you find out later, he was trained in intelligence, and that's how basically he disappeared anyway. And if you are trying not to be seen, you probably would not tell people that you are a Jedi since they're just murdering them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but that moment is so good where he's just
Yeah.
he's so fucking frustrated with himself and blames himself for everything. 'Cause he's like, I didn't sense him. It's just like, God damn. You
we'll
know?
get there. So you essentially have no BD, so you have no healing. So it's just a one and done. And you're like, oh, and then you fall down and he's reaching for his lightsaber. He says Seer's name, it fades to black, respawn, you respawn, and you're fucking Seer. Doing fucking just madness. Just murdering tons of Imperial. Like, you can just rip ships out of the sky and slam them into the ground. I don't know if you guys were doing that, but it's very fun. During that whole battle scene on the outside, you can grab the drop ships and just throw them into the ground.
I didn't know that. I did not do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah, that
R1X,
sounds-
yeah, you can grab them before
sounds
they
cool
jump
as fuck.
down,
Did it
and she
once,
just
yeah.
grabs it and just slams them into the ground and all
that
explodes.
sounds cool.
That
Fuck.
does sound cool.
That's very good.
I think the game did a bad job of showing highlights for force abilities at times, though, especially later on going for the platinum and trying to find stuff that was like hidden under rock piles. Is I know I'd gone past like rock piles a handful of times and I never got that prompt to lift it up. You know what I mean?
Well, you wouldn't have gotten the prompt until you had
It was
it,
like
and even
red.
when
I know.
when you
well,
did,
when you didn't
was
have it, it would
very,
prompt
like,
red when you couldn't use it.
right? But even the light up when you had it was very faint.
Yeah,
It did light up, but yeah, you'd have to be really looking.
Yeah, you have to look for it. And I think they could have done a little bit better job. Maybe it could be an update later on where they make that a little bit more bold, so you can tell like what you can actually use your force powers on. Because like I would have loved to have done that, but I had no idea that. How the fuck would I know?
So
Especially,
I think
how did I know Seer was that powerful that she could slam a fucking ship into the ground?
Because that's where you learned it from, when she pulls down that whole fucking thing earlier.
I didn't make the connection to
the flashback.
Yeah,
I think with the update, they actually added the buttons pop up now.
Oh, do they?
So, because when I was playing this morning, it said, like, on a lot of them, it would say R1 X, R1 triangle.
I want to say
it would just, like, highlight.
That's an option in the accessibility menu, and it was there on day one, I believe, because I turned it off intentionally.
Well, I probably turned that off. Then.
Well, I didn't turn anything off, and I've just been playing, so
update might have reset it.
Yeah, because I had no prompts or no tutorials for anything really. I turned all that shit off. I didn't want a bunch of shit popping up on the screen. So gotta have a minimalist view on the screen. The HUD.
Yes,
same
very
way.
fun.
Yeah,
and so you finish off one wave. Marin comes and says, you know, they need help elsewhere. So you run off with Marin as Seer, and then you basically there's AT-ATs coming in, which is very cool. You're up on the high side of the mountain running around, and you basically find those little balls from the High Republic, and you shoot them into other bigger balls that turn into bombs.
That was cool.
That roll down the hill and explode on these AT-ATs, which is very fun. You know, there's just chaos ensuing everywhere, murdering all kinds of troopers.
Mm-hmm.
You get to the inside, you go to the loading dock, and then we have AT-SDs breaking through to, after, I don't know, 5 minutes of murdering people, you get ripped down the ceiling again. You seal the entrance. Mantis comes, and Seer essentially tells Marin, or she's going to go back to get the codes for the hidden path, and tells Marin she's got to stay with the Mantis to protect the Mantis. You go to the archives where the codes are. She gives them their BD. BD runs away, and Darth Vader fucking just kicks the door down. And this is probably the hardest fight in the game, especially on Grandmaster. I cannot tell you how many times I did this fucking fight. Especially once you get to like the third section where Vader just has like insta kills.
Yeah.
Like all the plenty. And on Grandmaster, if he hits you twice, you're fucking dead anyway.
You're already at the Darth Vader part?
Already. We weren't too far away.
Okay. Before that, I did have another glitch in this section where you're standing near the hangar bay and the AT-ATs and all the stormtroopers are coming in through the fire. I had some weird glitch where I had to restart where two of the AT-ATs in the last wave would not walk through the fire. And then they were blocking the stormtroopers from coming in, so that last wave never fucking came in. So I just
isn't that the last two with that last wave, those are the ones you're supposed to pull the ceiling down on. Because only one breaks through.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. That's what I was going to get to. And then I found out later that I was just being stupid.
So it wasn't a glitch.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is I thought it was. And then turns out I was fucking stupid. But again, it goes back to the point of I never saw the like glow of the ceiling of like, this is how I got to do this. So,
are you colorblind, Tyler? Are you colorblind?
No. I don't think I was paying enough. I was also drunk as absolute.
All right, that's a reasonable excuse.
Oh, okay. So we found out that a bunch of the bugs that Tyler has is he's just drunk as shit.
Yeah, it turns out the glitch was in my brain.
Oh, perfect.
Man.
Yeah. This was the section I stayed up until like 3 a.m. playing.
Sure. Well, yeah, once you hit that point where the betrayal starts, like it's like I can't stop. Like I need to keep going.
I was super fucking tired. I mean, I played all the way up until almost the very end because I did where he kills Cordoba all the way up until after you go to the Imperial base. Like, so I stopped right before you go to Tanalorr. And I mean, I was doing everything, trying to clear everything out. I mean, I was so fucking tired. So that could have been another reason why I didn't notice.
But yeah, that Vader fight is fucking
so badass.
awesome.
It was hard as fuck.
Oh yeah. I was on Grandmaster and I refused to drop it down. I was just getting my ass beat for probably a half hour before I finally beat him.
Yeah.
It was, and he only had 4 heals, and her life bar is considerably smaller.
Yeah, I think it's you get 3 or 4 hits on Master.
Oh, yeah, you get hit twice and you're done on Grandmaster.
Took me 5 tries. It wasn't crazy difficult. It was really just learning his attack pattern after you go through the cutscenes. Like, once you know how you whittle his health down, there's a cutscene. Whittle his health down, there's a cutscene. And how he would change up his attack pattern, I had to get used to. Also, going from using the other stances to just a single lightsaber was tough to get used to as well.
It wound up being okay for me because it's pretty close to Cal's blaster stance. It's very like lungy and stabby, so it was feeling pretty familiar for me.
I actually, after the last episode and nobody was using the single blade, I went back and I changed my stance where I used the single blade after Bode betrayed us to finish the game. So yeah, it was fun.
Wow. Congrats on finishing the game with the lame stance. No, I'm just
kidding. It's pretty fucking powerful. It's
such a
surprisingly strong.
Vanilla fucking.
I just wanted a different, because we were all using the same stances, or at least Tom and I were. It's like nobody's using the single, so I'll switch to the single. But it just felt cool to have like one blade against one blade at the end, you know?
I mean, the crossguard is still one blade against one blade.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. A standard lightsaber. But it was it's once you get that tree leveled up, it's surprisingly powerful.
Yeah.
And it does really well because it has like a perfect mix of everything. It has range because you can throw. It has a really good like stamina depleter where like you can jump and press triangle and it does like a crazy fucking lunge attack downwards that just fucks stamina guards up real bad, or block meters, whatever the fuck. And it ended up being pretty good. I was surprised.
Yeah, so you got what, 3 phases of the Vader fight?
Yeah.
One where he starts to throw the books at you, then you knock him into the bookshelf and he starts on fire.
That part is so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, so his last phase on Grandmaster, because essentially nothing phases him. Like, you can hit him like 4 times with the crossguard. He doesn't, like, there's no knockback. He'll just power right through you and just fuck you up. That last phase was awful to get through on Grandmaster.
He looks so fucking badass though, like with his cape on fire, and like the games do such a good job of like making Vader feel like, in Obi-Wan Kenobi did the same thing, making the Vader feel like an imposing character.
So since you're speaking about Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you know this is the hidden path, which is a big deal in Obi-Wan Kenobi, or in Kenobi, when Seer jumps and hits him at the end, he limps away. Do you think when he is introduced in Obi-Wan and is in that Bacta tank, it is because of her?
That would be a weird connection, but
obviously they were being made at the same time. There was probably talk about this, like,
they're definitely connected in some way.
And why else would he just be like chilling in the fucking Bacta tank? Because he's not in any of the other ones. Like, he's got that other weird chamber in the original episodes, or 4, 5, and 6, where he's not in a Bacta tank. It's just like a weird, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a
the
vacuum sealed chamber looks like a
So he was
like
obviously recovering
like an iron
from
lung,
something.
but it looks like
So he's obviously recovering from something, and he just got stabbed and just limps away. But it's cool, and also not cool how like she just misses by like what, 4 inches. It's like just right between his arm, and he's just like straight through her. It's like, fuck you, Seer.
I do love how he acknowledges how much she's grown as a Jedi, though, and like that she's
actually came there for her. Like, he was hunting her. Like, that's why he's there.
Yeah, that she's actually a force to be reckoned with.
Well, she was. Now she's dead.
Did she miss, or did Vader make her miss?
Either way, she missed.
That's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if he made her miss.
holding her saber with the Force mid-fight. Just so cool.
When he's got 2 hands, and then he just
lets go
one down and just holds it.
Holds her saber there with the Force. Oh god.
Yeah. The thing I really like about this fight is that you have a pretty long build up of like just destroying stormtroopers and ATSTs and shit leading up to this moment, just to show how ridiculously powerful Seer is. And then this is like way more challenging than any fight Cal has done still, even with Seer being OP. It's like shows like still now how outmatched Cal would be in this fight, like as outmatched almost as he was in the first game when he was running away from him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's very good. And then as she's dying and falls back, at first I didn't know if it was real or not because it gets that weird haze like around her as she falls, and then Cal catches her. But her last words is Trilla, her Padawan and main bad guy from the first game. It's weird, I guess. I mean, she just say Cal first, and then she says Trilla, and then just dies. But I don't know.
Well, I think it's a kind of an acknowledgement of the passing of the torch of how she failed with one, but then succeeded with the other, and the connection between the two, and how much they meant to her, even though she probably felt like she failed Trilla at the end of the first game, that she succeeded with Cal in this one and doing the right thing.
She essentially got Trilla killed because she's like, "Oh, I'll stop fighting," and then it's just Vader comes down and murders her.
Yeah,
you fucking bitch. So yeah, they're all dead. Everybody, no, just Seer's dead. I mean, there's all those other
Cordova. Cordova.
Yeah, so after they come off the Mantis, you just have the two body bags there.
Super sad.
Which I don't know.
Cal is fucked up. That the animation during that scene where he's holding her dead body.
Oh yes,
when he so cries, fucking good. It did a really good job of that.
Yeah. I wrote down finally like actual like real emotion in the game, like because there's stuff that builds, but there's not like I don't think as far as the animations or motion cap, like there's not like anything like he's obviously more developed as a character and he's not as monotone, but like this just
they did a great job with him the second half of the game. He has such a huge range. He does great. It's really good. It's refreshing after the first game for sure.
Yeah, just that whole scene when he just screams.
Well, I mean, even the campfire scene beforehand when they're all like celebrating the fact that they got the compass and stuff. I mean, even that, he's got more range in that. And then to go from him with the anger and screaming at Bo, and then to go from the screaming and the crying for Seer, and then the melancholy afterwards of like, the fuck are we supposed to do? And
which is then when they get on the Mantis and he's like, why couldn't I sense it? And Grease is just like, this isn't, he's like, just stop it. It's like, this isn't on anybody but Bode. Like, he's the one that did it.
It's a great moment.
It's not you.
So because I was definitely worried about like, okay, Cal could definitely blame himself for this, and I was very worried about that being like the arc, because that's a very common arc of like him spending the rest of the game blaming himself, and he does a little bit, but like to immediately have the moment of the entire crew that's left being like, no, this is not your fault.
Yeah,
like we all trusted Bode, even though you're the one that brought him in. We all trusted him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very good. So then it's the hunt for Bode, realizing that he still had the locator, which is how he found Cal in the beginning. That's how they would try and track him after Marin said, well, I wish there was a bounty on him so we could follow that. Light the bulb. And then, so they don't find anything initially when they're looking, and then Cal starts walking away like all depressed and dejected, and then it lights up, which then obviously they're like, oh, this definitely seems like a trap. But they find out where he is. And they end up going to Nova Garon, which ends up being this really cool Imperial security bureau, like the secret service, essentially, of the Empire, secret police.
Mm-hmm.
And you go through, so far you're unnoticed, like you're making your way through it, trying to track down where Bode is. And you try to hack this terminal and it doesn't work. And then they're on to you. But you get to see, like, I don't know, it's a really good design for the base. I really like the way it looks. Imperials have very good, I really like the Imperial designs. They're very cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
So you go into the vents after you're being chased because you alert the entire base basically that you're there. And Danvik is the head that is there. And puts the all-out alarm out.
Basically, Bode's boss.
You're right. But you don't know that yet. You're running through the ducks and stuff, and you end up falling into his office. Funny enough. And he's like, "Oh, you're not going to do anything," and he pulls the gun out, and he's about to shoot him. And I like how Cal just goes like this. He just whips the fucking blaster out of his hands, and then pulls his own out and points it at him. To which you find out that yes, that he is the one that sent Bode when on the job for Coruscant, that initially started this whole thing. What is even better is the fact that Cal's like, "You're the reason that Seer's dead." He's like, "No, that's not supposed to happen for months yet." It's like, bullshit. Vader came and killed him, and then you can see the fear in his eyes through the animation that he's like, "Oh shit, something else is going on." And before he can really say anything, smash his head on the fucking table.
Mm-hmm.
And he just passes out. I'm very upset that this ISB officer uniform is not unlocked for your being able. No, you can't put this on other than this point. Like, it's not in the customization menu. And I was like, well, that's bullshit. You can't walk around with the ISB uniform. But it's funny because then
I
you're
wonder
just.
if that's like. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's like a Disney mandate thing, because I know Disney is so hard to work with that like they don't want a Jedi walking around in that gear in like a civilian settlement and stuff.
But in the first one, you could unlock the Sith armor after you beat it to wear that, which also I'm very unhappy that there was no like Inquisitor armor or anything that you could unlock after.
You do get the Inquisitor colors though for the.
Yeah, but that's just here. You don't get
lightsaber, which the Inquisitor colors on a lightsaber look fucking awesome. That black and like reddish orange color looks sick as fuck.
Yeah, but it's just the colors. So it was a little, it could have been more, but it's fine. It is what it is. So now you essentially found out where Bode's sleeping, I guess.
Where Bode's abode is?
Yes, it's Bode's abode.
And all right, so Ryan, that's enough of you. I've had enough.
Oh, you know what, Tyler? We all have to sit here every episode and listen to you.
I'm just mad I didn't think of
it. So, dressed in the ISB officer uniform, you are just walking around. And it's funny because he's like, BD, you got to hide. So otherwise you're going to give it away. Meanwhile, he just has a lightsaber on his side.
Yeah, just hanging
enough.
He didn't on my screen.
Oh, no, he did.
No, because it was just the blaster on my screen.
Oh, because Kata notices it when you get there.
It wasn't until he pulled it out. He thought it was maybe Bode when the door opened.
Right?
Yeah. No, yeah. It was like completely concealed on my screen. There was no saber.
Where did he pull it out of? His pants.
Underneath his jacket? I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I could notice it when I was walking around too. But...
maybe I just misremembering. But anyway. You're walking through, you can have weird conversations with some people. Like, you can talk to one guy asking him where's this? And he's like, what are you fucking talking to me for? Who are you? Are you new? I'm going to call security on you.
Yeah, but you have like more of those. I assume this was ranked, the little blue things. So I was just like, this guy should not be talking to me like this. I'm his fucking boss.
Yeah, I mean, you literally stole the clothes off Danvik. So you're essentially like, which is funny because he has clothes on later. I wonder if he's like sleeping in his office just naked. And he's like, oh, God. Some clothes on quick. Because that's just his office. It's not like where he lives.
I mean, maybe he who knows?
Keeps an extra pair of clothes in the office just in case
he shits himself.
In case he spills some spaghetti on him when he's eating. I mean, he's wearing all white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you find Bode's abode. Open the door, and just looking at some, you find a picture of him, his wife, and Kata. There's a brief echo. I don't remember really what it says. I think it's just Kata talking about her mom. You go into his bedroom. You slice into his bedroom. And you also find one of the old discs that you have to look at to see what's on there. You find out that he's, how long he's been gathering intel on you and all of the crew. And then as you're doing that, Kata walks in. Which is cool. She's got that little area camped out in the corner with like a tent built up, and She's like, "Who are you?" She's like, "You don't fucking work here." I'm like, "Nope, you're right. You're the first one to notice that." You gotta help her find her little the hell is that? Mookie, her Mookie doll that's underneath the table. Which is funny because he's just like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll help you. Where's your dad?" And fucking murder him. "Oh, here's your doll." Uh Essentially Bode shows up. He's like, "Well, you're a lot earlier than you were supposed to be." And Kata's like, "What the fuck is going on?" He's like, "Oh, we're best friends, but we got in a fight. It'll be fine."
It's I love that.
But it's
so
at
good.
that point, like Cal's got his lightsaber out. He's like, "We're gonna talk it through, right, Cal?" It's like not to fight in front of her, and just he puts it down. And they talk for a little bit, and he, asks him how he got out, how he survived Order 66. And that's when you learn he was trained in intelligence during the Clone Wars, and then after everything went to shit, he basically used that knowledge to disappear until he found Kata's mom, who then one day when they were out, the Inquisitors tracked him, and she essentially delayed them so that Kata and Bode could escape.
Yeah, and that's
He
how.
died.
Yeah. Again, super good stuff.
Yeah. So
Really.
he's back to the, he's doing this all for Kata, and it would have been fine until the decision of Cal making, or the way he justifies it, everything would have been fine until Cal decided that he was going to give Tanalor to the Hidden Path, which in Bode's mind just means there's way too much attention being drawn where he just wanted to escape.
Yeah.
Where nobody knew where they were, but, drawing a bunch of people that are being actively hunted to a place that he wants to take his daughter.
Brings the chance for more Imperials to find him again and put him and
Yep.
his daughter at risk. Again, super good shit. It's that. I mean, I get it. I get where he's coming from. It's
Right.
It's a good standpoint. It's like they justify what he's doing and why he's made the choices he's made, and I think they do a fucking great job of explaining it all.
Right. And then he tells Cal that, he's doing that for her and he wouldn't understand. And Cal's like, I don't, but I do understand betrayal. You're a monster. And Bode's like, no, I'm a father. And he throws the table at him and runs. Aha! Flee! And then you get this fucking embrace the dark side where you just murder like 30 fucking troopers. And it's just very good. It's a little misleading because everything you kill here essentially is in one hit, but further on, it's still you can only hit them like 3 times before they snap out of it.
Yeah, this
And
also
this
takes the
hitting
place
you,
of
but
your
it's
time dilation too, right?
right. Well, it still does the time dilation. It just now I think you do more damage now.
It also forces you into a single blade.
Yep. Yeah, you can only use the single blade.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is ridiculously powerful though. Like,
yeah,
it makes a lot of those like really hard riffs much easier. Like the double rancor.
no, yeah, I didn't use that. I did that before getting this. But yeah, so you're just chasing Bode again through the ISB base this time, murdering more and more troopers because now you're crazy. So after you end up getting to the docking bay and Marin's there, you're like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm saving you. This is another point where I'm like, they're going to fucking kill Marin here because you're separated. There's an obvious big gap in between you. There's just a massive amount of troopers that start coming for her. And I'm like,
I would have been so upset.
This is a very good area that they could just kill her off and just add more. Because if they would do that, then they would add in the like. Obviously, there is no choice in this game. It just it has the story that it made. But that would be a good point of like Cal transferring over to the dark side, which as you get through here, he could have done, but Marin talks him down because that's when he gets Danvik, and is basically blaming him for everything and about to squeeze the ever living piss out of him. And Marin said, I don't want to lose anymore. You won't. And he cried. And then they had sex in the ISB base. And that's the end of the game. No, it's not the end of the game. Okay. Bode escapes. You make it back to the Mantis, and Grease is like, yeah. See, he was trying to fight the whole base, wasn't he? Marin's like, yes. Yes, he was. He's very smart, this one. Fights everything. I wish, like, this is a very cool looking area, and I wish it was a little bigger than just the one trope like base that it was, but it's still very good.
I'm kind of glad it was small and contained, made it exploring it a lot faster, get all the stuff that was inside of it.
There wasn't much in there.
I know, but what there was, you could find quickly and just get in and out of there. Move on, keep the story rolling. It felt intentional to keep it light. That way you could get in, get out, and get after Bode. Not hang around.
So Bode has the compass, leaves, and as you get back onto the Mantis, there is a hollow of Centauri Kree saying that if you're getting this, there is another way to navigate, and that is by aligning all of the arrays to the coordinates that are on the actual hollow that you're watching now. So back to Kobo. Back to the place that we all thought was like a vault that had lots of goodies inside.
Yeah, that was
turns out to just be part of the story, and the thing we thought had goodies was actually just a terminal behind all the other terminals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to the vault, and there's a bunch more of the troopers there, and you have to fight a bunch of waves of them. It's not really anything difficult. The Centauri Kree is talking as you're going down there, saying like, someone has to be there to man it, to fire the arrays, while someone else pilots through, which I assume means that she was the one that was firing the arrays when Dagon flew through. Since he's the only one that ever flew through and made it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you hop on this lift and you go very, very high into the sky.
But wait, Tom, they mention your favorite character here at that moment.
Oh, yeah. They're like, who should we leave here? Turgle?
Yeah, Grease is like, I'll go see if Turgle's available. And Cal's like, how about not
no,
Turgle?
Not.
How about anybody fucking else at that base?
He's like, let's see if we can find somebody that has a death wish. Like
yeah, maybe Turgle, maybe not Turgle.
Yes. Unfortunately. So you go up the lift, you line the arrays, and then Z pops up and is like, I will do it. And she says, may the force be with you. Then it's back down to the Mantis. Like, none of this is very time consuming. Back down to the Mantis, and you get to have Grease fly you through the abyss, which he's very excited for, by the way. I cannot, the amount of exciting.
I love all that dialogue.
Yeah. I love the hype moment.
Trying to hype himself up.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I mean, I think it's before you even go to align the arrays, but like his line is like, let me get this straight. You want me to fly the Mantis through a ship-eating nebula using a tiny tunnel created by 200-year-old tech? And then Cal and Mariner's like, yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
And he's just, okay.
I'm in.
Yeah.
But it's funny because as he's going through it, what does Marin say? She says something. Oh, at least we'll all die together. He's like, that's great. Hopefully there's enough room on my tombstone for it to read all that. It's like, that's not that much to be on tombstone.
I think it's a little bit longer than that, right? She says like something else with that.
I don't remember.
I just played it, and that's all I remembered. I literally just beat the game like an hour and a half ago again.
Oh, I guess your memory's better than mine.
It's just fresher, not better. I just remember those lines.
Yeah.
So they start going through the abyss, and then shit starts flying all over the place.
Really
Cal
cool.
transfers all of the shields to speed. They're trying to hype Grease up to do it. He's like, all right, yeah, let's fucking do it. And it's funny because he had that stutter again, where the ship kind of like the engine stuttered, and BD started beeping at him. He's like, you want to fucking fly the ship? And BD starts like crawling across the dashboard, and Cal's just like, pushes him away. You stop now. And then it gets to the point where it starts closing around him because the arrays are overheating. So they end up going into
the tunnel is shrinking.
Yes. And Grease doesn't want to do that. Essentially, do you trust me? And then you hear Sear's voice telling you basically when to go.
Oh, so that moment fucking rules.
Mm-hmm.
And then Grease is just like screaming like nonstop. Yeah. Even after they make it through, he just keeps screaming. Yeah. And then like instantaneously Cal just stands up, and him and Baron just start making out. And Grease is still like screaming, and Marin slaps him. He's like, oh, good thing nobody lost their cool.
Very funny.
As he was just screaming nonstop. And then we're on Tanalorr, which funnily enough, like all that is in Tanalorr is what you basically already walked through in that Echo, like in chapter 2. That's really all it is. I mean, you get to see the inside of that temple briefly, but it's a very cool looking planet. I don't think there's like a couple echoes to collect.
Yep.
And I think that's it. But probably my favorite part in the game here is when you're coming through the temple and you just hear Kata singing.
Yep.
And her Ghost Star song. And I'll tell you right now, that's fucking Modi. Right now.
Very, very haunting and
yes, because it's just echoing the Reaver, like just through the
tunnel as you're coming through.
Yep,
that opening.
Very good.
Yeah. Great acoustics on Tanalorr.
Yeah. Which, after you beat it, I know Chris knows that you can find an echo of Bode singing with her in that same spot.
Yeah. Also, sometimes she'll just be singing it again, like when you arrive at a planet or whatever. She'll just sit in your seat singing it.
It's a very good song. So you see Kata and you explain that, you know, you're there to get something that her father stole. They want to ask back. The whole walk up, Marin and Cal were back and forth on how, you know, what they were going to do with Bode. Marin just wants to murder the fuck out of him. And Cal doesn't want to because he doesn't want to leave Kata by herself like they were, where they had no parents. So they agreed that they will let Bode decide what would happen. So they get Kata to show them where Bode is, and they have to go through this long tunnel. And she's like, I don't like it here. It's dark and it's scary and it's lonely. So Marin conjures up one of her like necro flames. She's like, see, that's not so bad. And Kata's just like, you're very pretty. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
But you get to the innards of the temple, and Bode says Kata and turns around and sees you. He's like, what the fuck are you doing here? Son of a bitch. Very angry. Very like immediate. And then basically gets so angry that he destroys the ground right in front of Kata to make her like try and run away. And then the fight begins. Fight of the Bodes.
So this is an actual glitch I did have here during this fight. He killed me, and then when I did the respawn, and he was down on the second level instead of the first one. And so when I walked down, I had to jump down to him, but it was so far away that it killed me. So I had to reload the whole thing, and then it reset to where it put him back on the first platform again. It was very weird.
Strange.
Yeah, it only happened that one time. But it was weird.
But this is a very good fight. It's a lot of the back and forth. You get one little instance of Marin giving you like the teleport where you fly around, and then you tackle him down. That's when you go to that lower level.
Yeah.
He gets angry, and he starts cracking the ground that is around Kata. So then Marin leaves the fight to save Kata, who's about to fall, and teleports her to safety.
Kill his daughter because he's so angry and blinded.
Well, not like he didn't know like she was there. Like, it just was like a chain effect.
Yeah.
It's not like he grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her. Like, Anakin.
Yeah, but he's being incredibly reckless. Obviously.
Well, yes, because he's extremely angry because he finds out, like, because they gave him the choice, and Cal's like, you can be here, you can live here, and you can live with Kata, but the hidden path is coming here. So now he knows no matter what, they're here now. They've already brought attention. Like, no matter what, somebody else is going to follow them through. Like, he is not safe like he thought he was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he must die, apparently, which, as you get to the end of the fight, is very apparent because he will not give up. But before you get there, so when he knocks you down and knocks BD away and starts beating the living piss out of you, and it's like, embrace the dark side or whatever, as it like fading to black. I didn't do that. If you don't do anything, it just, you're just fucking done. So like, okay, well, I thought there was actually going to be like a choice in this game at that point.
That's what happened with the glitch, is when he's beating the shit out of me, I just let it happen because I was like, I don't want to do that. And then
when I do that too, Ryan?
Yeah, we're all good boys here.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm sure a lot of people did it. It's really weird that they wouldn't just like have something else there or be like, literally stay on that screen forever until you do it, make you decide you have to do this or something,
Yeah.
instead of just
Yeah.
like, let's redo the whole fight. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like there was a better solution considering that's something that occurred to everybody here at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's really not been a huge indicator that he would embrace the dark side, especially that moment after the base when he's doing that. And
Right.
Marin has that conversation. I was like, okay, well, obviously she talks some sense into him. This isn't going to be something that I have to worry about.
And he's in this fight with Marin. I realize she just, rescued Kata, but there's nothing stopping her from bamfing back in here and kicking Bode off of you.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to wait. I don't know.
So you say that like that him, that he turned away, but then at the end here, when he shoots Bode, and he's got that look in his face, and then he shoots him again after Bode's like already on the ground, like he's still riding that edge. Like he could very well go bad because you could see, because even after he does it, then he kind of like comes to and like drops his gun.
Well, the first time he shoots him, he's not dead, right? And then he
shoots him and he falls to the ground and isn't moving, and then he walks up and shoots him again. Like right in the chest.
I thought he was still moving after the first shot.
He's double tapping. You got to make sure.
Yeah, but it wasn't a quick succession double tap. Like he was down, and there's a couple seconds, and he kind of leans forward more and just does it again. And like the animation, like the motion capture for his face is like very menacing at that point. And then like there's a brief period afterwards where then he like lowers his gun and like, realizes.
Well, yeah. In that moment we did, right? You do embrace the darkness in that moment. And
well, for that last half of the fight.
Yeah.
Like that's the very end of the fight is when you shoot him.
Yeah, Cal's ability to slow down time and then become super strong is still embracing the dark side. Like he has a whole ability that I'm sure will carry into the next game that is embracing the dark side. I don't know if they'll have it exactly like that because it's pretty OP to have at the beginning of the game, but I would love if they found a way to balance around it. I don't know. But and also like as soon as that does happen back on the station, your like upgrade menu is kind of red, like your connection.
Yeah, you can't do anything with it
in the middle.
So yeah. Then you murder Bode, and then it goes to Marin with Kata on the ship, telling her about how much he changed after his wife died and he wasn't himself, and basically just falling down just this void.
Yeah, Kata was very aware that, because we didn't really mention it, but during all these interactions that she's been a part of, she's been talking to her dad like, why are you doing this? Like, it seems like you're the one in the wrong. Like, she was very
telling him to stop,
like aware of his actions being bad, and that he is hurting people.
Mm-hmm.
So a really good interaction between her and Marin, and like Marin talking to her about death and
it's a pain that you carry with you now, and like that's gonna define, or it's gonna make you the person that you will be.
Yeah.
And explaining like how Cal had lost, and they found each other.
Right. Because they talked about before, like going into the fight, like we don't want to be the people continuing the cycle of vengeance. We understand what loss is at an age like this, and if we're doing this, we have to go into it with the mindset of you can't just
you can't just kill to get out of your situation. You have to try to save people along the way.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then while they're having this conversation, it flashes the scene of Cal picking up Bode, like getting his lightsaber and everything with him and bringing him out. And then they have the funeral pyre for Seer, Cordova, and Bode, where Kata walks up to Bode's grave and throws her little Mookie doll on it.
Mm-hmm.
As like all of her family is gone now. And it's just crazy how they do like the super speed, and Cal's just like standing there. And
I thought my game was fucked up for a second.
Yeah, for a second.
As it's doing that, and that John Williams score from the originals comes in, it's just it's like goosebumps.
Yeah, I realized
very,
quick,
very
but
good.
yeah, for like the first opening second
the first
of frames, I'm like,
what's happening? He stands there and watches them, the corpses burn all the way down.
Yeah. God, did this moment break me?
Incredibly.
Marin eventually ends up next to him and puts her arm on him, and then it's just him. Mm-hmm. And then he finally says something at the end to Seer's grave that she saved him back on Braca, and he doesn't know what he's going to do now.
But But yeah, he will continue what she started, he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Great-
then you have
great moment.
literally 30 minutes of credits because I literally like stopped and said I beat the game, and it was like a half hour later, and I was still watching credits.
I
Like,
skipped it.
Jesus Christ.
A lot of people
Skipped
work
it.
on these damn games nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Especially
after
given-
you finish, like all of these, there's all these little echoes of Bo that pop up all throughout the world of like when he was doing, like figuring out what he was going to say at certain points. That are very cool to go back and listen to. I don't know if you guys did that or not.
Not a lot of them.
Found some of them, but not all
No.
of them.
Oh, they're very good, including the one where he sings "Ghost Star" with Kata. But that's an easy one to find. Well,
Yeah.
not really, because like, why would you go back there unless you just popped your menu up?
I found the ones on Tanalore, but yeah, I haven't found a couple in other places.
Oh yeah, Kobo's got a whole bunch. Jeddah has got a bunch because there's one where you find, I think on Jeddah is like, oh, this is easy. Like it'll be easy to control Cal because he's in love. This is after they find out about Marin on Jeddah. It's him like trying to figure out what he should say to Grease, like back in the saloon. There's one by a ship. There's a bunch all over, but it's cool because there's at certain points where you actually interacted with Bode. It's like his, like just figuring out what he's going to do.
You can see his viewpoint.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is pretty neat. And how cool is Boba Fett at the end of the cage shit? Did you guys finish the bounty hunters?
I heard about it, but I haven't gone to do it yet.
I also didn't do the last cutscene where they're all on the ship and they're talking about sticking together as a family, and Kata tells Kata to strap in as they take off. It's a good moment. It's like now they have like this tiny little makeshift family of Cal and Kata and Marin.
Uncle
cool.
Grease.
Grease is like the uncle or grandpa.
Which won't be apparent in anything in the next game if there's a next game, because, you know, the end of the first game was like, hey, they're all together. No, they're not anymore. They split up.
True.
They were bad.
Yeah, but the only other big note that I have is the bounty hunter stuff. It's very cool that you do with the bounty hunter stuff. And the last fight is Cage, and that's a fucking hard fight.
Yeah, did you get the one hit kill where she hits you and she tackles you and then just continuously shoots you in the face with their blaster?
No, I killed her in one. Well, I did it in one go. But it was a hard as fuck. I mean,
yeah. So she has a move where she jumps in the air and then flies at you. She tackles you, knocks you on the ground, and pins your arm down, and just holds her blaster in your face and just keeps firing.
Yeah,
you just die.
That storyline is so cool, though. It's
Mhm.
like she sent you after all these other ones, and then
just to raise the price.
Yeah, just to raise the price on your head, so she could go after you. And then you also took out all the other competition, so nobody else would be coming after you. And so
and then
she could
Boba Fett comes for her.
Yeah. And there's
Very
a
good.
really cool moment between you and Boba Fett where he's just like, I'm not after you, Jedi.
Yeah.
You know.
And she's like, really? You don't want to kill him after, you know, fucking Mace Windu chopped your dad's head off, even though he's not really your dad. He's actually just you.
Yeah.
No, I really like that. And then I like the design that it's the old, like, original trilogy armored Boba Fett with like the cargo pouches and stuff, and not like the weird overweight Book of Boba Fett version. But yeah, I was really I wasn't expecting that cameo, but then he flies down and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that. And that's anything else you got for the game?
It's all my notes.
We all got the platinum except for Ryan.
Yeah.
To get the
Fake ass gamer boy.
Fake ass gamer boy.
That's how you
I'll
know
tell
we
you, one
like
thing
it.
I wish I didn't do was getting all those fucking seeds when I didn't need to.
Yeah.
The fact that 3 of us got the platinum, I mean, I think speaks volumes of this game. That's
well, yeah, it's
a lot.
definitely GOATY right now for me.
Yeah.
Even with technical issues, I think it's for right now at least. It's not like it's not like when I played Elden Ring and it's like, okay, this is GOTY, and I don't think there's possibly anything that could ever dethrone it this year. But it's like it's up there. It's a hard one to dethrone. I mean, are we gonna do scores?
Still a lot of year left too.
Yeah.
Well, we
we
have
games.
a sort of comment, not I don't know, from Holden.
We have a few, yeah.
I don't think there's a few. I think it's just Holden.
I mean, it's all Holden, but he had a few.
It's multiple choice or
it's multiple choice.
Multi question.
I choose A.
Okay.
Oh, is that
it's always C, Tom. You got to run.
Oh, fuck. But he's only at about the first 3 chapters as of posting of this, around the Jedi area. He really enjoys the confusion, which I will say, when you are not the confusion of the flamethrower, but when you grab the flame trooper and then choose R1 and just burn the other ones alive, I feel it's a lot more fun than just like confusing the trooper. I didn't use the confusion a lot.
Confusion is super helpful.
Yes, that's what he says. I didn't use it very much. It was easier just to run in and murder and grab and pull and kill in one hit. Yes, he really enjoys that. He likes the especially when you get like the larger monsters, which I will agree. Like if you get like the Triceratops to fight the giant weird monkey thing, it's kind of funny. And he likes having the partner in real action from time to time. So when you get Marin and Bode, which is actually the one I had to start the game over, because at that point I had not made Bode do anything. So when I started the game over, I had to make, because I didn't control them. I just let them do whatever they want, because you can send them after one thing and well.
Yeah, I used their ability all the time. The ability was super helpful, especially I used Marin's a lot. I mean, I think they both basically did the same thing, where you just hold people in place, but it's really good to like get a decent group together with like a force pull or something.
Oh, yeah, I know Bode would do like a jump kick and then drop a stun grenade.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes they would just kill him. Like if they're weak enough, they would just kill him in the one hit. But yeah, Marin did the like weird electro cage green goose thing, which was fine, but I never needed to rely on them. I guess I just never explored that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I needed it. Just they give you so many tools in your arsenal. It's fun to fuck around with everything. You know, that's my thing. That's the one big thing about this game is I played it in so many different ways throughout my playthrough. Is I changed up my style a lot of like sabers I used. I mean, I pretty much used every lightsaber at one point. You know, using the abilities, using BD's abilities to hack the droids.
That was really, especially when you had the hammer and spear ones. You just stay far enough away where you can hack them, because those things are a pain in the ass.
Well, a lot of them, if you just hit them one time and then do a force pull on them, you can hack them. Like
if you have the bolt, you can just shoot them far away, and it just hacks them immediately.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's I think it's an unlockable in the tree. Yeah, so if you don't aggro them, you can just shoot that bolt and arc, and it'll instantly hack them.
In like the survivor tree.
Maybe I don't remember which one it was, but yeah. So you can. I like there was ones where you're fighting the raiders, and I would get both of the droids on either side of them, and then just walk up to them. They just both turn and just murder them.
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
Yeah, the hack was super beneficial. It's great.
He also likes how the narrative difference is with the partners, and how it makes it feel more like a rebellion instead of just a one-man army. I really think it still just felt like a one-man army. I mean, there's cinematics. I never felt like I needed them in like actual gameplay. That'd be more like upon like a party system almost.
Yeah, but I think the first one relied so much on Cal talking to BD, and it was just dialogue with him just making comments about the area to BD, that it was helpful to have a partner there to bounce conversation between, instead of it being like you know, just it does the Horizon thing of Aloy just constantly making a comment about everything that she fucking sees.
Sure.
You know? What are you gonna say, right?
It's just like thematically, right? Like it feels a little bit broader, that there's more people in the fight than just Cal at this point, even if the fighting itself still kind of feels like just you, because, you know, video game.
Yeah, and they are involved if you want them to be.
Yeah, I think it would have carried a little more weight if they didn't murder everybody in the beginning of the first chapter. Like if you would have had more of those characters along as side characters.
Oh yeah,
maybe. Yeah,
it would have felt a little more grander than just a single person for a certain spot on a planet or I guess in Marin's case, just any of the open world on
or
Jedi.
or the ability to swap out partners of like
Right.
who you want to take with you.
I mean, I get what he's saying. I'm not saying that that's not valid.
Yeah,
It's
but that's
just,
that's definitely something that they could expand upon in the
Right.
next entry, which
Yeah.
would be super cool. Like, oh, pick what party member you want to go with you on this mission.
Yeah.
And they get their own set of skills and shit.
Yeah, I
That'd
was
be
kind of
sweet.
surprised. I mean, not anymore now that after Bode betrayed us, but when Bode and Marin were both on the ship at one point, I was surprised they didn't like just let you choose every time you go to a planet. have
Yeah.
them with you.
He's also hot on exploration, combat, story, and customization. It's very rewarding to hunt the ends of the earth to find a dope ass new jacket. Which I know, Chris, you don't care about any of the customization, but
Still feels good exploring.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into and go around with. So, and then as you get the other skills to come back to a place you couldn't get into before that you remembered, and then it not just being like, oh, there's just a collectible here, but there's actually a little more than just that. Like most of the time, yes, it was just like a little collectible, but like when you go to the caverns, that Ryan had to do 4 times.
3 times.
3 times, whatever.
3 times.
It was multiple times.
It was.
Yeah, I had to go back. I actually didn't end up finishing that because I guess I didn't get to the part that you had to get get the trophy. So that was annoying.
I didn't actually get the map upgrade.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Oh, I see.
I somehow walked past it.
Weird. Holton also said he only had like one real glitch. I think Tyler, you said something about it too. Is like when you were going to the lightsaber, yours wasn't the same, but like it took him 20 seconds before the UI actually opens up when he was going to customize like his lightsaber. Yeah. And I think you said yours is just like all black.
Yeah, it would black out the ones that were underneath that you were about to pull up, and it just looked like black little particles. It's like a shadow almost.
I think the weirdest thing that I had was when I'd run into the bottom of Pyloon Saloon just from the outside, like going into your room, when that door would open, so I would just run so fast. It's just all like there's no floor and you can see everything below. But as soon as you like step into it, then it's there.
Yeah, it all operates. I had one moment, oh God. I think this was when I was just exploring after I'd rolled credits. But it may have been on the climb up to the Dagon fight number 3. Where I could not switch my stance. It was stuck on double. Like the input just wouldn't register at all. And I could sheath and pull double out perfectly fine, but it wouldn't switch over to the other stance until I closed the game and reopened it.
Weird.
Yeah, the big one I had with Pyloons is whenever I would come out, the textures wouldn't pop on anything around me. So, like all the shrubs and bushes and stuff just look like giant green blobs. Fucking weird.
I don't think that's a bug. I think that's them just cutting back on textures as much as possible to keep frames up while you're in performance mode. I think if you were to go to pretty mode, that wouldn't do that.
It would slowly go back. But
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's just performance mode trying to stay performance for you as much as possible. And if you were to put it on whatever the other one is, definition mode, whatever, I can't even think of the name.
Super graphics,
whatever.
Yeah, resolution mode or whatever. Yeah, it would, but your frames would dip, but it would probably not do the pop in as badly.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next time we get to play with Turgle.
Yeah, maybe Turgle will be the main character.
Character.
Yeah.
I would take a Turgle DLC.
Yeah.
I would love
to just run around like scamming troopers.
Yeah, I could see them making like a Turgle mobile game. Enough people, I think, love Turgle. Or I don't know, like a little side game, whatever. I would love a game playing as Marin though, just because Marin's the best. And also like her movement abilities feel similar to like doing a lot of the dashing through the green gates and stuff, which is like my biggest thing with this game is I wish there was more of that. Like the 2 tears where you're the balloon tear and then the tear with all the green gates are like the best things in the game for me.
Those are a lot of fun. I enjoyed those. So yeah. Scores. Ryan.
10. This is a 10.
Tyler.
I got a solid 9.25.
Chris.
I'm looking because I forgot. I think a 9.25. Yeah, 925.
I got definitely a solid 9.5. This is very good. Like, I didn't have all of the graphical problems that apparently are just widespread. Or if I did, I just didn't care. I was having so much
it
fun
seems
that
like
it's
Chris
not
and I
like
had more technical issues than you guys.
Yeah, I had really nothing. I had that one crash and then some minor, nothing really.
Yeah, that's the only reason mine's not a little bit higher. Probably be a 9.5 if didn't have all the technical stuff, but I got it deducted some of that shit because it definitely impacted my game.
Does it get? It needs that bump for you being extremely drunk, though, as we figured out that your bugs were.
Yeah, but not all the bugs
internal
were like
glitch.
Bo getting stuck on the second level and shit like that.
Maybe he just thought you were that good that you could just skip to the bottom of the fight, but you weren't that good because you couldn't make it down to the platform.
That's true.
But no, very good game. I mean, have they confirmed that there is a third one?
No, but I would be surprised.
That seems pretty clear.
Yeah.
Because we got the what is it? Eclipse is supposed to be coming out.
Yep.
I think there's a weird like Nintendo one that's supposed to be coming out as well.
I mean, it's probably not till like 2028, 2029. Maybe a little earlier than that. Like they need years to
But yeah. Final thoughts? Anything? Yeah. It's
good
Tyler's
game.
Hungry. He's got to eat.
Great game. Amazing game. So
Starving.
good.
I haven't eaten. I've been putting this off. I'm so hungry.
Literally done. And he's like, I need to eat food now.
I have Taco Bell sitting right here. I've been staring at.
If you just like lean back far enough, your background would just make you disappear anyway.
We got a chalupa.
The hot content that everybody wants.
I'm ready to eat it.
But I don't think we have another game lined up for the next one.
Chris Tales.
No.
All right, it's official. Tyler is off this podcast.
Tyler has to play Chris Tales nonstop until we tell him otherwise. I think that's how it will go.
But with Stockholm Syndrome at some point loop back around and he loves the game. Best game he's ever played. Yeah.
Nothing compares. He's the most fantastic.
He's gonna sing Sinead O'Connor the whole time.
Yes. Sing that Prince song. But until next time, I guess. That does it for Jedi Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good game.
And they're mine. Back up.
We'll let you know if Tyler gets to eat his food or not.
Liam's trying to come over here and have my food, dude.
Take it. Take his chalupa. Put me on speaker. But okay. We'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.